Hello class. Tonight we are going to have a lesson on the DC Direct Ame-Comi minifigures Heroine-Series Harley Quinn. Series 1 even. That's a lot to say. Now, as you may or may not remember, the memory for me is a little bit fuzzy. The last time I tried to do a review on a Harley Quinn figure, I took a mace to the back of the head, and then I ended up not doing the review. So about 18 stitches, a metal plate, and some counseling later, we're back to do another one. We'll see how this one goes. This one will go better. Why? Well, one order of Chinese food, and a copy of Despicable Me, and the wife is sufficiently distracted to allow me to get through this. I'm clever. Okay, so the figure itself, so we'll have a look at the packaging. Look at that. Silver Snail, $14.99. There's the box. There we got a picture of what the figure is going to look like, even though we can see it right there, so that might be kind of a moot point. Mini figure for Harley Quinn. On the back, maybe this is a little more interesting, we have the girls of Gotham City. Whether hero or villain, girls just want to have fun, and then it describes some of the other figures in the line. So there's Batgirl, there's Poison Ivy, and of course here we have Harley Quinn. There you can see the Poison Ivy, which actually does look pretty cool. The Batgirl, I'm not too certain on that. Hey, sculpted by Sam Greenwell. Good job, Sam. Excellent work there. And then coming soon, Donna Troy, Wonder Woman, and Cheetah. Keep figure away from heat and direct sunlight. Okay, check. There's another picture of Harley Quinn. I think same one. Nope, it's different. On the top. Now this is the thing that kind of perplexes me a little bit. It says for ages 14 and up. But then it says warning: choking hazard, small parts not for children under 3. But if it's for 14 and up, doesn't that more or less exclude the little ankle biters? Nah, whatever. So, that's our look at the packaging for this figure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. I'm going to check to make sure the wife is still distracted. And we'll have a closer look at this Harley Quinn figure. Back in a second. And we're back. We are still looking at the Ame-Comi Harley Quinn minifigure from Series 1. So I'll give you just a quick 360 of the figure here. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Ame-Comi, I don't really know. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't care. So there we go. But anyway, so there you go. You can look at some of the design on this figure. Now, they spent a good amount of time on the sculpt, on the detail for this figure, especially when it's not really that big, which is kind of cool. Now, one thing I should point out right away, the stand does come off, and you notice here on the boot, it's got a solid black piece for the hole for the peg. I guess that's because it wouldn't work any other way. And really, when it's going to be standing there, you probably won't notice. So that's okay. But we'll get rid of that for now because I'll probably drop it otherwise. So we can see the mold for this figure. They spend a lot of detail on that, especially on certain things like up here on her arms. You can see the crisscross pattern or the diamond pattern on her arms. That is actually sculpted in. It's not just the paint application. You can see the ruffles on her hands. That's well sculpted. We've got that big gun, which, noticeably enough, there's no cork or flag in it, which is common for a Harley Quinn kind of weapon. Kind of reminds me of that big-ass gun that Hellboy had. A really big one that, I don't know, it was big, that's all I remember. Same thing if we look down here on the legs, same thing, that is sculpted in. For the red diamonds there. Now, in terms of the design of the figure, obviously it's not quite the normal Harley Quinn looking figure. They've changed the styling, which is what they've done for that whole series. For, I think they did one male figure. They did a Batman, and then it was all the women of the DC universe. So some of the major differences, first the Dealy Boppers. These are almost like bunny ears on this figure. They're quite large. The face is actually pretty similar. The top of the mask is a little bit different. But I don't know how well you can see it there, how well my camera's going to pick it up, but she's got Bowie eyes. We've got a green one and kind of a purple one on that side. The main body is more or less the same in terms of the coloring, although these little holes in her jumpsuit or whatever is slightly different. I'm sorry. Now on the back, she's got a tramp stamp. You can see a spade. Didn't have that before, which is kind of nice because usually the detail is all diamonds, all the little extras. So it's nice that it's more of the playing card motif. The little bit here around her neck, that's similar, but it's a larger piece now that hangs over, which is kind of neat. And then she's got different kind of boots. We've got the green and the black, or sorry, the red and the black, but it's got the green on it. I'm not liking the green on the boots. It reminds me of someone from the aisle of Misfit Toys or something silly like that. It's Christmassy, because I see red and green, I think Christmas, I puke, the end. But, same thing up here up top. We've got the green and the blue. I don't think we really needed that. It would have been nicer if they had just stayed with red and black. And the gold for the accents. But otherwise, that's okay. Now, in terms of articulation with this, there's none, right? It's a solid piece. It doesn't move. If it does move, that probably means you broke it. So go buy another one. But it's not supposed to move. Now, I really wish I could compare this one with the larger size figure. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, we did not buy it. It's the evil wife who collects these things, and she tells me that the larger scale one was too slutty. What was the exact words? Excessively slutty. Now, I don't know if there's a slutty scale. You know, that could be interesting. That figure was excessively slutty, and this one, I guess, is not, even though it's kind of the same design, but there are little bits that are different. Like on the other one, these little holes in the stockings were held together with little rings, which I guess made it too slutty, etc., etc. It just, actually, you know what, I didn't really like it either, and since the wife collects them and she didn't like it, we didn't purchase it. But this one has kind of a cuteness to it, which is alright. Now, in terms of how big this thing is, I think the easiest way to give you a rough idea is that we can grab the DC Universe Classics Harley Quinn, just to get a rough idea of how tall they are. And actually, it's pretty similar, just a little bit shorter. They're both on the figure stand, which gives this one just a little bit more height. But we can see that it is similar size, so it'll fit in with a collection pretty well. So, if I set this aside and I grab my handy dandy whiteboard here, maybe we'll zoom in just a little bit. Some positives for this figure. The design is nice, so we'll say plus. The design for this thing is nice. It's very well sculpted. It's cute. You know, that's kind of a good thing for it. Actually, that's really about it. The design is cute. It's actually, the price point is nice too. Where I bought it, it was 15 bucks, which isn't too bad. I don't remember how much the larger ones went for, but it was pretty expensive, and if you weren't terribly fond of it, it's hard to, I found it difficult to pay for that kind of thing, which is another reason why we probably didn't get it. This probably isn't going to be the wife's favorite Harley Quinn, but at 15 bucks, she was willing to pay for it. Or, did I? I guess it doesn't really matter. On the negative sides, well, there's no posability, or no articulation, I guess is maybe a better phrase. Shift that over there. Articulation. Pardon my left-handedness. Now, I say that as a negative because, you know, as an action figure collector, you like stuff that you can pose and make look badass, but you're probably not going to get too much of a better pose than that for Harley, and, you know, it's not meant to move like that, so it's kind of a bad thing, but not really. The green on it. I don't like the green. Green is a color that I generally like. I don't like it on this figure because it just ruins the red and black motif that this figure really has going for it. Other than that, you know what? I'd say that is a decent figure. It's worthy of being in your Harley Quinn collection if you swing that way. Maybe not the top one of the collection, but not bad. If I was going to give this particular figure a rating, I would give it a B. It's not too bad. It's a pretty decent figure. Pretty decent. It's a good figure. We'll say it gets a B.
What are you doing?
Oh, geez. So I think that's going to wrap it up for this class. We're going to say, class dismissed. Have a good night. Nothing, dear.